Hello YouTube, this is your good buddy Hukman. I have saved you all the pain of watching me prepare for what I'm going to call Sandalwood Saturday. And I am now ready to shave, I do believe. Let me give this a little bit more of a stir. Thicken it up a little bit more. I think I added too much water. See? Soft peaks. Maybe a little bit too much water, but oh well. I tried something that Eric from Avengers in Wet Shaving does, which is to use the soap as like a pre-shave, and I put some on there to see if it'll soften up my beard a little bit, make it a little bit easier to cut, to slide through the hair, and see if that would do it. I've been recently adding a lot more water to my lathers to see how much better that does. If that does any better. Wash my hands off to get this extra soap off. I don't want sticky fingers. I mean slippery finger, not sticky. A little backwards today. Got my towel laid out to wipe my blade on. Some of this alum on my fingers. My fingers, they'd say around here. This is my Bow Brummel 35 square point. I just went over 60 passes on the green stuff to bring up the edge after trying to shave my head with it. See how it works. One thing I hate about really slick lather is it drips everywhere. Test to see if it's actually cutting. Oh yeah, it's cutting. So, I like sandalwood scents. I used to like sandalwood scented snuff, when I was a nasal snuff taker, which is a form of tobacco that goes in the nose. Actually, I have another channel that has videos on that if you'd like to check it out. It's called Hukman. I might not even have to do 3 passes today. I think I can get this done in 2. How smooth that leaves me. Now that I've figured out how to do this, I can get baby butt smooth shaves nearly every time I shave. BBS shaves, as they say. Can't do that, so I'll just raise my head and stretch down here. I shave. It's not even considered as a tutorial. Most of the time I like doing pull down and then 4 strokes. 4 buffering strokes. Since it's impractical to do long strokes for me anyways. You also want to use very, very light pressure. Don't try to get everything in one shave, one pass. This ain't a Gillette or a safety razor. When done right, this can be one of the most comfortable ways to shave. Hey, I might not even have to do a second pass on my neck. On the sides anyways. 'Cause that feels pretty good right there. Now to strop. how my West Coast shavings drop. Close it back up. Always treat your razor like a weapon. Like a very, very dangerous tool. What I mean by that is to be very careful with your razor. Make sure you don't just leave it open somewhere that cats or dogs or little ones might get it, or an adult might cut their hand on it. Don't leave it somewhere where somebody can get cut in an open position. You also want to treat it with respect. And it's good to have your lather on. With a straight razor, the slicker the lather, the better. You don't really need too much cushion, but you need some. That's why you can't just use like Cremo and not have with no at least I can't use Cremo with a straight razor because it doesn't produces enough slickness, but not enough protection. So this second pass is it's called across the grain, or generally I go against the grain on this pass, but considering how much time I've got today, I'm going to do a across the grain pass. Now see what I did on the first pass, I went with the grain on my cheeks and across the grain on my neck, because for me to go with the grain on my neck I'd have to go this way, and that's almost impossible with a straight razor for me anyways. Now what I do for across the grain is I go sideways like this. Sorry, it seemed like this little piece of foam here was going to drip down, and I didn't want to get it on my shirt. Again, I hold the razor like this when I'm doing across the grain, sorry, on my upper cheek and my jaw. And what you can do is to get the more harder spots is go like this. Pull your cheek up. What that does is bring this part of the cheek up and make it easier to cut there. That feels good. Maybe. Might need a little bit more. It's also very important to map out your beard, which I've done, but I don't follow it generally, because it takes longer that way, and I don't get nearly as good of a shave. So I must not. Now for me, across the grain would be downward 2, would be upward 2. So when I'm done, I generally don't have to go against the grain on my neck anymore to get a good shave. I guess that means my razors are sharp. Now my throat on my neck, this front part here, was a sensitive part of my neck. Be very careful. To not cause any uncomfort. Now, when I switch my left hand, since I have trouble going like this with my left hand, I take my right hand. I just hold the blade like this, like you would a kamasori. Crazy. I never would have figured I could get a good shave like this before. These are probably one of the better shaves that I've had with the straight razor. What you want to do here, I'm going across the neck, across the face this way, is blow out your cheek a little bit, move your cheek to the left, right, pull on your ear. Much like you do on the right side. Be very careful not to cut your ear. Pass number 2 complete. Pass number 3 will be against the grain on my face and across the grain on my neck in a certain way. Except for this way, this will be against the grain this way, unless if I have to. I feel like I might have to, yeah. It'll be this way, which is kind of hard to do too. If your face is kind of difficult to do right there. And I'll show you a little bit of tricks just in case your hair grows this way and this way on your neck. Just drop 30 passes is what I do between passes. Don't be afraid to, don't go fast. And if you're just starting, don't go too fast on your strop. Close your blade, remember this. Put it back wherever you usually have it and rinse your face off. At this level, if I were in a hurry, I could call this done. This would be a damn fine shave, but I'm going for BBS. That's usually what I do, and I'm kind of a perfectionist, so that's what I'm going for. Now what you want to do is start on one cheek, do one cheek, one pass, until you can do all your face like that. Do it every day like that until you can do all your face like that. Then do one cheek, 2 passes. And then 3, and however many more you need after that to get you the results you want. Yeah, this feels pretty good. I'm using the Viking blade, Viking Revolution or whatever it's called, Sandalwood, for today. I'll be finishing it off with Sandalwood. Sorry, I forgot the name there for a minute. Now with the grain can be a little difficult. Against the grain can be a little difficult, especially if you have sensitive skin. So I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you've gotten accustomed to using a razor, straight razor. Now what I like to do is to heat the razor blade to temper it under warm water before each pass. Now you only use warm water to rinse, because that seems to cut better. I don't know, it might just be me though. Up. Now, this is against the grain on me. And you don't want to use too much pressure. You want it to be just enough to hold the blade to your face. Just enough to take the cream off. Be mindful where your fingers are. You risk cutting yourself and damaging the blade, which means you have to, if you roll the blade, you'll have to go out and start it all over again. Now, here's for the trick. And unfortunately, this is a point. This is a square point, which makes this a little bit more difficult and painful. But what you want to do is take it and go like this and sweep at the front part of your neck. At least that's what I have to do. Right through here to get that area for me. Then what I do is take it, go at an angle like this, pull down and go. Try and get as close as I can. Ouch. Okay, a little hard if you're using a square point, because the point will catch. If you're not doing it at the correct angle, it can cut you. Lightly, I would recommend these soaps for a beginner because they're very slick. But that's just me. Then I go up or down, maybe sometimes both. Make sure I've got everything. Now here's the difficult part for me. I have to go like this. That's kind of hard. Windshield wiper motions work sometimes. A lot of people say not to use a safety razor when using a straight razor if you're trying to get a baby butt smooth shave, but whatever makes you happy, do it. If that brings you some satisfaction to know that you've gotten a baby butt smooth face using that method, because you can't get it all with your straight razor, by all means do it. Now over here. This is especially dangerous if you use your left hand. Feels pretty good. It's smooth right through there. Maybe a little bit right there. Now here, I have to go like this because it goes upwards. For the top half anyways. Now the bottom half, what I like to do after I rinse my blade off here, I like to take my left hand and go like this. Cut myself right there, because see, that's what I'm talking about. If you're using a point, it's easy to cut yourself. Cut like this. You do a little bit more right there. And this is you need to take your time with this. You can't really rush through this. If you do, you won't get a good shave and you risk cutting yourself. Kind of one of the things you can do right here if you have some issues. It's hard to do. Find the right angle to stretch, right way to hold your head, and this is going against the grain right here, and I usually don't do that. Only when I have really tricky areas that I can't get. I don't get smooth with the other two passes. Now see, this is what I would consider a baby butt smooth. Now what I want to do is dry my blade off. Now that I've got it where I want it, dry my blade off. Make sure everything is nice and dry. Put it up, just like you would as if you were done doing work on it. Done with it. Now, rinse my face off with warm water. Also, if you live in a humid environment, it's a good idea to leave your straight razor open on the shelf where nobody can get it. Yep, sounds good to me. I mean, there's a few spots, but that's okay. It's not a deal breaker. And even then, when the oil comes back to your skin, you probably won't feel it anyways. Now this is cool water. This is what I'm doing. I'm showing you my complete routine. I take some alum, wet the side here with the block here, go over my skin. Now this, ooh yeah, that's got that cut there. That's why that burns. This is a good way to tell how good of a job you've done. If you get a lot of tingle, a lot of burning, that means you didn't do so well. If you get no tingle or burning and it just closes your pores, you've done very, very well. Now what I do is I like to leave that on there for about 30 seconds or 45 seconds while I clean out my shaving dish, my shave bowl here, my shave brush. That's what I like to do. Just keep swirling it in there until the water comes out clear. Give it a good squeeze. Wipe off, clean off the outside of the bowl. Set it to the side. Put up your puck of soap. I put mine over here on this shelf back here. It's easier for me to get to them like that. Take some cold water. Splash it on my face. Rinse off the alum. This is going to be a little bit of a lengthy video. Dry my face off. Now, I like to use some, now I don't do this all the time, it's just whenever, for demonstration purposes or whenever my face is, whenever I want a smooth face, you know, whenever I'm not in a hurry I do this. Now see, baby but smooth, and I didn't even have to put all that. I may not have to put all that, I didn't have to put all that work into it. Now I take some of this, flip it, leave the top off, sprinkle a little bit in my hand. It's facial toner by Thayer's. It's an astringent with aloe vera. It's got rose scented. Just like an aftershave. Some in the hair because it feels good. Now, some people will finish off their shave with an aftershave splash and then a balm. I don't always do that because I don't have matching balms most of the time. So I'm going to take my Carasso aftershave here. I'm going to splash some on my hands. Just a little bit. Now this is probably going to burn. Oh yeah, there it is. You'll soon grow to like the burn of an aftershave, a good aftershave. That's good enough. That's a good shave right there. Well, I'm gonna call this a tutorial on Sandalwood Sunday Saturday. Sorry. And oh man, that stuff smells good. Anyways, this has been my shave. Have a great day, and may great shaves follow you.